My name is Lindsay Micey, and I'm at the Lanaca Gallery, and I'm interviewing artists tonight, the performers and the painters. So, tell me your name.
My name is Gonzales.
Dosa, what are the primary mediums you work in?
I work with oil and pastels.
And I also heard rumors that you were a fashion designer. Is that true?
Yes, of course. Everyday wear for men and women.
And I also noticed that your work is really based on characters.
Well, for a long time I was an illustrator of cartoons and comic books in Europe.
Hey, great. And so you use very small canvases, and also there's a very interesting 3D canvas. How did you come up with the idea of doing a 3D canvas where the character kind of wraps around the shape?
Well, I used to study architecture. Three-dimensional, looks just inspired me a lot. Just wanted to create something new.
Another thing I noticed about your art is the use of monochrome. Do you have any particular interest in color? Do the colors mean anything, or do they represent something to you?
For me, it symbolizes happiness. It symbolizes sadness. So with my paintings, I try to make people happy.
My name is Lynn Getman.
Lynn Getman, what's your medium primarily?
My medium is pretty much photography, mixed media.
What do you use to make your images? Do you use Photoshop, or do you use actual photography, or what?
Actually, I use both. I use photographs on my camera, photography that way, and then I also do a lot on Photoshop as well.
What do your photographs and your media pieces focus on? What are your interests as an artist?
Well, I try and capture. I'm a slice of life artist. I think I just try and capture the life around me, whether that be, a club or a beach or whatnot. I see beauty in almost anything, so I try and capture that.
I noticed the photograph of Haight-Ashbury. That's a slice of life that's important to you, or?
I think that I was gonna say I have the photograph on a trip I took last year to San Francisco. I think Haight-Ashbury, that symbolizes, I think, that whole revolution of the 60s. It was really important for me to get up there and see that area. I ended up going by myself because the people I was with was like, well, what's Haight-Ashbury? And I was like, oh, never mind. If you don't know, I can't explain it to you in like 10 minutes. But yeah, that was amazing. I really liked walking around through that area and capturing it, yeah.
So what's your name?
My name is Kay Howell.
Kay Howell, what medium do you primarily work in?
I work with acrylic and cell vinyl.
Cell vinyl?
It's an old medium that used to be used by cell animators when they used to hand paint the individual cells for animation.
Interesting. I notice your stuff does have a very glossy sheen to it, but yet it's still very textural. What process do you use to start your paintings, and how do you keep them so vivid and the colors vivid, but still have a lot of texture in them?
Well, a lot of my paintings, they actually start off with the texture, and sometimes the texture is as I'm painting them. I use primarily a white background, and I use transparent layers of color. So the light actually bounces through, hits that white, and shines back, almost like stained glass.
What is your subject matter? What do you like to paint?
I love painting Sacred Hearts. It's a weird quirk of mine. I went to Italy once, I saw the image, and I fell in love with the image, and then when I found out what it meant, I fell for it even more.
How many Sacred Heart paintings have you done so far?
Over 85.
Wow, that's impressive. Do you have any upcoming shows other than this one?
Well, I've got this one. I always do the Long Beach Experiment, which is on the third Wednesday of every month. And then I do other one-night-only shows at various clubs.
Tell me, what's your name?
My name is Krish.
Krish? What's your full name?
It's Krishna.
Krishnak. And you are a guitarist. What style of guitarist are you?
Yeah, this is basically the flamenco style guitar.
Okay. Where did you study flamenco guitar?
I I studied in Granada, Andalusia, Spain. Andalusia. They say Andalusia. And I'm also a student of Paco Arroyo. He's in Glendale, California.
Do you play with a group, or do you just do solo work?
Right now, when I go out, I do some solo stuff. And also, I work with a gypsy singer. His name is Kiko Mahecha. We performed at the Bilingual Foundation of the Arts in May, and they had like a dinner gala, some kind of charity foundation work. So,
Great. Well, thank you very much.
thank you. It was a pleasure.
Great. What's your name?
My name is Crystal Lynn Moran.
Crystal Lynn Moran. And what's your medium that you use?
Actually, I use just about anything I can possibly find, but what's in the show here is basically Photoshoppery.
So you're a sole photo. This show is sole Photoshop
Yes.
art.
Yes.
Why do you choose Photoshop as a medium?
I've been using Photoshop since I was very, very young, since about 1993, and it's basically my default medium. If I need to make something, if it's something that I need to do to show someone, if I have an idea, anything like that, I go to Photoshop first.
So are your Photoshop pieces, are they autobiographical?
No, they're more about just finding beauty in the natural world, just looking around and looking for a different perspective on something. So I'll take, like, say, the concept of a Sagittarius, and I'll try to find a Greek but also modern way of saying that. I am a photographer, so I do actually go out and shoot things originally, but I also use stock photos, and I also will take things like feathers or just physical objects and scan them and use those for texturization, things like that. I also use some 3D programs for texture mapping, just to get the texture a little bit better.
Do you have any shows coming up other than this one?
I think I'll be doing another one here, and I'm not really sure what else. I honestly, this was sort of a surprise for me. So we'll see.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.